There comes a time in every man's life where he meets someone very special to him, someone he cares about a lot, someone he loves. For 4 years ago, this happened to Steve when he met me. My name is Mikey Crouch. I went to school with Steve for 4 years. We lived together for 3 of them down in San Diego, and we had the time of our lives. And another person who also with us was Austin. He's here. So, moving on. Before I really begin the toast, I want to really thank the parents of the bride and the groom for everything that they've done, especially for the groomsmen on the Lundin side. They let us stay at their house for the past few days, and it's been awesome. So if everyone could give them a round of applause. So traditionally, this speech should include me talking about all the crazy drunken nights that we had in college, some of the groom's crazy ex-girlfriends, and how the bride is such a lucky lady. However, there weren't any crazy drunken nights in college. Steve never had any crazy ex-girlfriends. I'm lying. All joking aside, Steve, you really are a lucky guy. For those of you that don't know Jessica, she really is a catch. And it is really amazing how well you balance out Steve. Jessica, you are everything Steve isn't. You are strong, smart, funny, and beautiful. Whereas Steve is tender, simple. And although he has a strong jawline, he wasn't the most handsome man in the old college house. I'm only kidding. Despite Steve's soft voice, feminine dimples, and the hairline of a 40-year-old man, Steve is the toughest guy that I know. There's nothing I wouldn't trust him with. He is hardworking and determined in everything that he does. I met Jessica in August of 2011, right after her and Steven started dating. From the beginning, I could see that Steve was done for. He changed the way that guys change in movies and love stories. We could tell he was done for because he went from being the guy who always wants to have fun to a guy who never wanted to have fun. What I'm trying to say is he changed for the better. It was between those months, or the following months, August of 2011 to May 2012, when Steve went from being just a guy that I lived with in college to a friend that I'll have the rest of my life. It was also during this time where I realized Steve had the strongest and most selfless woman I'd ever met. It was an honor of my life helping Steve surprise Jessica the night that he proposed to her. And it is a greater honor standing here today before you all as Steve's best man. I can't put into words how happy I am for these two and their future. All I know is that I wish I could live right down the street from these two, but right now that can't happen. Steve and Jessica are embarking on a journey that is not for the weak. A military marriage takes strength, but I know they have it because I've seen it. Before I finish my speech, I just want to share a quick story. And don't worry, Steve, it's a clean one. In fact, if I had a nickel for every time Steve called me and told me to keep this speech clean, I'd have enough drinks to pay for all the alcoholic beverages on the Gomez side of the house, which is equivalent to about one table on the Lundin side of the house. So real quick, my story. 2 years ago, Steve and I went down, when we were sophomores in college, we went to go visit my parents for a weekend because they only lived an hour away.
That was bad.
And so we drove over to my parents' house, and it was the first time he met them and my whole family. And the following morning, I woke up, I went to the room where Steve was staying, and I went in there, and he wasn't there. The bed was made like so immaculate, it looked like no one was ever there, and his stuff was all still packed, all methodically and strange in the corner, like he just walked in. And I went upstairs looking for Steve, and there he was on the couch talking to my 6-year-old little brother about being a Marine. It's like cute and funny, but it was, it's hard to find a guy like that nowadays who, I don't know, they're very rare to find someone of that caliber of a man, especially nowadays, being this young. So on that note, I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Lundin for where are they? Lundins. I want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Lundin for raising like one of the greatest guys I've ever met in my entire life. If I ever have a son one day, I'm sending him to the Mr. and Mrs. Lundin School of Hard Knocks. Because you guys know how to raise some kids. So on that note, everyone raise your glasses to Jessica and Stephen, to many amazing years of love and happiness. I love you guys.
Put your hands together for your best man, everybody. Michael Crouch, guys, come on, Michael. Our next coasters are going to keep the applause going for Kelsey Davis. Kelsey.
I'm a crybaby, and I've been friends with Jessica for 4 years as well. We met in college. For those of you that know us, know the story. It was really more of an attempt at college. But we went and we met each other, and we just clicked. Like we just became best friends and inseparable. We're kind of ridiculous. Looking back over all the years and trying to sum up our friendship, and the kind of person Jessica is literally impossible. I could go off on some crazy adventures or embarrass her by sharing some of our memories or just brag about how lucky I've been to have her as a best friend. But none of which would do her any justice. For those of you who know Jessica, know that she's nothing short of spectacular. Behind her beauty, her perfect wit and contagious laugh is the most loving, kind-hearted, and absolutely selfless person you will ever meet. Jessica is one of those people who can make you laugh until you cry, as well as talk about your thoughts and dreams without passing a single judgment. She sees the good in everything, and what I love about her most is that she never gives up on anything or anyone. Her strength and courage has been more of an example to me than I think she'll ever know, and she is definitely more than I could ever express in a speech. But I can't say all this about Jessica without mentioning Stephen, because there's no way that she would be who she is without Stephen. Actually, when I met Stephen, he was a taco. But no worries, first impressions are always accurate. He turned out to be one of the most selfless, funny, kind-hearted men I have ever met. He's more driven than anyone I've literally ever met, and he balances out Jessica a lot. He's definitely strapped her down. Stephen and Jessica are the kind of people we all aspire to be. Through trials and adversity, arguments and grief, they hold on to each other with confidence. And I think that's my favorite part about them, is their constant choice to choose to love each other first. After today, I know that now Stephen is your best friend, and I pass that torch so gratefully because I can't imagine a better person for you. He might be funny at me sometimes, but always call me with fashion advice because stripes on stripes aren't good for anyone. I love you guys, and I'm so honored and happy to be a part of this big day. And I wish you guys the best.
Thank you, Kelsey Davis. You're the honor.
We've gone together over the course of the last everything for this wedding, rehearsal dinners, getting together. Every time there's a microphone, I just take it. And tonight, of course, rolling by this gentleman over here, and he says, do you have something you want to add? And I said, sure, give me the mic. And what it was Stephen. It starts with him, Jessica. I did not grow up with a father. And Stephen knows this, and I said it, gosh, his whole life. I'm going to relive and learn what it's like to have a father by being your dad, because I'm going to live through you. So I would do every mistake a father should do, because that's what I would have wanted a father to have done. One time I gave him $100 just because I wish I had a dad. He gave me $100 for no reason. I just gave it to him. And he took it. I've been doing that the whole way. And we've made it all the way through life, and I've seen what it's like to have sort of an ideal life. Something that has a young man sitting here looking like that. So, oh my gosh, yeah, I could have done that had I done what he did. And that gets me to today. As of these wedding rings, as of today, the marriage vows, I'm done. I know what it's like to be married. I know what it's like to have a wife, to have to wake up with somebody for years. And I've been married 26 years, and Jessica, this is something I don't have to tell him anymore. He's going down on his own. But, were I to tell you a couple things, it would just be, she's right. You know, she's right. Yes, she's right.
The next and last toaster is our father of the bride. Put your hands together for Fernando Gomez.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank everybody for coming. This is such a great event to see all the support that these two deserve. I hate these things. Just to let everybody know, I hate these things. So, in trying to prepare for this, I went on the internet, looked at a lot of videos, trying to figure out the funny things to say, trying to figure out the best advice to give them. And then, yesterday, Kimberly put an idea out there, and there I went. In order for you, Stephen, to see the girl that I'm in love with, I made a little presentation.
Each other's face, so much in love, you're alone in this place, like there's nobody else in me. I was enough for her not long ago. I was her number one, she told me so, and she still means the world to me, just so you know. So be careful when you hold my girl. Time changes everything, life must go on. I'm not gonna stand in your way. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of Father was here.
Really good now.
And I pray that she'd find you someday. But it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. How could that beautiful woman waiting you be the same freckle-faced kid that I knew? One that I fairy tales too, tucked in the bed all those nights. And I knew the first time I saw you with her, it was only a matter of time. I loved her first, I held her first, and a place in my heart will always be hers. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of the Father always be. I prayed that she found you someday, but it's still hard to give her away. I loved her first. From the first breath she breathed, when she first smiled at me, I knew the love of the Father was me. So baby, I know what I'm going through. Smiles of you, I loved her first.
Oh my god. Oh my
Oh yeah.